Man. What an epic trade deadline. I'm your host, Mateo, for the Teo's Tantrum podcast. Wow, can't even speak English. Teo's Tantrum. I feel like I might change the name eventually. I'm starting to get tired of it, not going to lie. But episode 2, appreciate you tuning in, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, or even on the Buzzsprout app. Today's episode is going to just be running through all the trades made at the NBA trade deadline and prior to it, of course. Probably the greatest trade deadline of all time. Is that up in the air for it? I would think so. Of course, I'm only 22. I can only say but so much. But from my knowledge and my time watching the NBA and being like glued to the trade deadline, this is by far the best one I've ever seen. And it's a lot to impact, to unload. What's the saying? How's that go? Impact, unpack. Stupid. Anyway, so yeah, again, running through all the trades made at before the deadline, up to the deadline. A lot of rumors that did not come true. A lot of them did. A lot of them had a little bit of a twist. Want to go through it, give some brief insight because this episode was initially going to be with a special guest, but things just didn't work out. We did not plan it correctly. So instead of doing what we had planned on my own, I'm just going to do a separate take and just go through the trade deadline. And then when episode 3 comes out, you'll see. So stay tuned. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. Very excited for this episode. Again, a lot to unpack. And before we even begin, this episode was supposed to be made like 2-3 hours ago, but I decided I can't do that. I have to watch my Houston Rockets play the Dallas Mavericks today. AD and Max Christie's on the court. Of course, why not? Watch their first game. It's against my Rockets. Of course I'm going to support. I have not missed a Rockets game since I want to say 10 games into the season. I've watched literally every single game, whether it's the entire thing, from the second quarter to the end of the game, whether it's the fourth quarter closing. I try to catch every single game. That's how much of a loyal fan I am. And as of right now, if you know what's going on in the Houston Rockets fan base, you would know we are all disappointed right now. And again, we have Fred VanVleet out. At one point, we had Operation Goon out. We've had Bari out for a long time now. The team is a little bit discombobulated without our leadership coming from Fred VanVleet right now. But it's so disappointing being a Houston Rocket fan right now. We're on a 6-game losing streak. If I can remember correctly, our first loss was against the Grizzlies, which it was. I remember now. It was a 1-point loss. The 1-point losses are just as bad as getting blown out by 20 because it means we had a chance to win, but we didn't. And it's very, very, very saddening to see when your favorite team loses. That goes for everybody. Whether you're tanking or whether you're competing for a championship, you don't want to see your team lose. And I'm in the DMV, Washington Wizards, that's the home team, right? Seeing them lose, it's inevitable. They're trying to capture the flag. But watching the Houston Rockets lose, mind you, we were ranked the second best team in the league at one point. And I can't remember if that was from ESPN or Bleacher Report, but we were ranked second. First is Thunder, second us, then it went Celtics, Cavs, Knicks. And we were sitting pretty good. Sitting really, really good. But now We're fourth in the West on a 6-game losing streak. 2 of those losses came from the Brooklyn Nets. And as you see, I'm looking over on my second monitor here. I'm trying to pull up um, our schedule. Should have had that kind of ready, but I definitely wasn't planning on ranting at the moment. I just wanted to talk about the trade deadline. Um, so just give me one moment. But like I said, you hate to see your favorite team lose. Okay, so now I got the schedule up. First loss, again, to the Grizzlies, 120, 119. That game, I'll be honest, I did not get a chance to watch. But I watched the highlights. I heard what happened. Amin had the ball, didn't get the shot we needed from, I guess, how the play needed to be about. So Fred had a chuck. Now, going off what I heard, again, I did not watch the game, watched brief highlights. For me to say I'm a loyal fan, I should be watching the games or at least all the highlights to understand what had happened. But life happens. But it sucks that Fred VanVleet is our in the clutch go-to guy. I mean, he's a clutch guy. I can't lie. He's made a lot of clutch shots for us, even when he was on the Raptors. But as a Houston Rocket, I feel like I keep saying our like I'm on the team. I feel like the team should designate Jalen Green as the get us this win clutch bucket buzzer beater. I know he's very inconsistent at times, but he has made a lot of tough buckets. And it's funny because on Houston Rockets Twitter, man, there's so many people just having montages. And when I mean montages, everybody has a montage of Jalen Green not getting foul calls. Partially, I agree. He does not get the calls he deserves when he attacks that rim. But then at times it's kind of like, all right, you got blocked. Let's be honest. But man, is it hard to watch when your favorite team loses, dude. Again, lost the Grizzlies by 1. That first Nets game that we lost 110-98 after that game was so disappointing. When I tell you, here, let's check this out. When I tell you this game right here, can I stoop? This game right here was so disappointing to watch because we got blown out. When I tell you this is a game without Operation Shangoon, of course. He was out, but nobody wanted to play. Everybody was lazy, not getting back on defense, chucking shots, and the Brooklyn Nets took straight advantage of it. And not only that, they used our weakness against us. Now, if you're a consistent, NBA watch, if you have NBA League Pass, if you're watching ESPN or TNT or Max, excuse me, everybody has different defensive plays for specific teams. It's a weakness. The Houston Rockets are probably the worst offense against zone. We cannot create shots when somebody plays zone on us. Like, it's probably one of the most disappointing watches possible. If you're like why are we so bad at that? Why? Why? Yes, again, Shengun was out this game, and he's mainly been the guy to help us out when we're in zone. Like when the defense is in zone, he is the main facilitator to get somebody open. Because everyone, bro, I gotta calm down. In situations where Shengun gets the ball in the middle, you should expect one person to cut from either the left or the right corner. If not, we need to start spreading the floor. We cannot get shooters open, but then again, we don't have shooters. And that's where it goes into the trade deadline. But I need to continue my rant. So let's go back. Again, horrible loss. The Knicks loss. Whoa, I didn't even click on that. The I watched this game from beginning to end, and this was a very good game. We definitely had a better run this game than against that Nets and Grizzlies game. But Jalen Brunson is just a man amongst boys. This dude has dropped 40 every time he's played us this season. And not only that, again, we're not fighting. The first three quarters, outstanding. It was a good game. It was a good watch. But that fourth quarter, everybody gave up. When I tell you everybody gave up, everybody gave up. And again, Jalen Green was not getting his calls, but we can't rely on Jalen Green getting the calls. The rest of the team has to step up. I'm going to say this right now. Aaron Holiday had an amazing game. He definitely gave us good minutes, and I really appreciate him coming off the bench because he doesn't really get consistent minutes. You know, as of right now, they threw in Reed Shepherd, which I appreciate because I love Reed Shepherd. I feel like he is a phenomenal guard. He still has a lot to learn, of course. It's his rookie season. But outside of what you've seen him do in the G League, I mean, he dropped 49 in the G League. He's averaging 30 in the G League. But him coming in, finding his groove, getting to his spots is what you want to see out of your young player. Get comfortable. Very inconsistent right now, but he's a rookie. He's just starting to get playing time compared to his other rookie class members. But yeah, this game, I mean, Amin triple double. It's Amin Thompson. He is by far our second best player at times when it's Alperen and Jalen on the court. But he's starting to have a rocky go as of late, and it does get sad because everybody has now thrown Amin into like, whoa, Wemby is an alien in that draft class, but the Houston Rockets got another alien in Amin Thompson. Amin Thompson has all this buzz on him as of late, and I feel like from the outside perspective, I feel like he let that get to his head because now he's not playing as conservative as he's used to, attacking the rim. A lot of turnovers are starting to be made, and sometimes it just gets disappointing. But this game, again, was a very good game, but that fourth quarter was just horrible. Again, Karl Towns fouled out. You think we would take advantage of that? We didn't. And again, Jalen Brunson is that's why he's an all-star starter. He is just a bucket. But this is the game that I wanted to fully rant about. This 99-97 Brooklyn Nets win over us. This is a game where we were leading. We were in the lead. What was it? It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 97 to like 93 with like a minute left. Might even been less than a minute. Out of nowhere, collapse. The boards are not being crashed. Keon Johnson, wide open three, splash. All right, cool. But that last second of the game where I can't remember who shot. Look, it's playing right now on the screen. You know what? Let's watch that together, shall we? Let's watch it together because it's playing it. It's playing it, and I'm over trying to talk about it. Look. Let's rewind this, right? Seeing this, Keon, bow. All right, okay, cool. He made a shot. It's 7. Wait, it was less than a minute. Like I said, less than a minute. 10 seconds left. We were up, and that happened. I don't think you saw that. I don't think you saw that. I don't think you saw that. Inbound the Amin. What was that? Amin Thompson. I don't think you saw that. Again, Amin Thompson inbounding the ball after Keon Johnson just made that shot, and he just gave it away. Now, of course, that's just straight fluke that it just so happened to bounce and roll to the right spot where D'Lo can just pop that. Brooklyn Nets D'Lo is a different type of player, man. But that was the most disappointing loss I've ever witnessed as a Houston Rocket fan. And we were in the tank for 2 years, 3 if you count last year. But that, that I'm getting mad all over again, man. That game was just so disappointing because we were already on a 3-game losing streak, and we needed that win, but we couldn't close out. We couldn't. And I got into it with a fan of Enjoy Ball, man. Shout out to Enjoy Ball, man. You guys are amazing. Kenny, Pierre, D Mills, Mike, Numbers on the Board, my favorite podcast of all time. I love watching you guys. I literally watch every episode. You guys are just the inspiration in me starting a podcast when it comes to talking sports. So I really appreciate you guys. But Enjoy Basketball made a post about Amen and his, superstardom, like potential, basically. Something along those lines. Like he's been looking great, basically. And I made in the comments, Amen sold that game. Let's call a spade a spade. The reason I said that is because Enjoy Basketball made that post again. It was a comment. Right, the next slide was Amen's defense against the Nets that game where they just lost by 2, 99-97. I only watched that clip and immediately got mad. And so I made that comment because to put that game on the post with, the text that was brought out on the post about Amen doing great defensively, yada, yada, yada. It just felt like the post didn't matter anymore because you put that specific game on there. He might have had a good play that game, a good defensive play, but I don't care. The rest of that game, he sold. He had 7 turnovers that game, and he cost the game. At what point do you fault your stars? At what point do you hop off? Look, I love Amen Thompson. I love Jalen Green. I love Alperen Sengun. I love my Houston Rockets team. Everybody on there. I love everybody on the team. They are gelled together. But at what point do you have to let them know they need to take accountability? Now, I'm probably not wording that right, but I just feel like Amen's decision that game was a poor one. Again, he's young, I understand. But you can't let stuff happen as simple as that. Of course, it's a second left in the game, 2 seconds left in the game. The pressure's hot. We're in the lead, though, so don't get too overwhelmed. And I'm not on the court. I can't speak for what Amen was feeling in that moment. But you have to be more aware. You have to be more aware of the situation you're in. Heat check Keon Johnson. Splashed it. Good shot. Keon Johnson's a nice player. He was a dog in Tennessee, man. I love the fact that he's starting to get some recognition on the Nets. I really do. He's very enjoyable to watch. But then you take in, all right, Amen, make a smart pass, get it into somebody has a more higher chance to hit a free throw because they're going to get fouled, right? But just to bounce past it, and then it just, man, that hurt, man. And again, he cost us the game. I'm being honest. But star players have cost many games before for their teams to take the L, even if they were about to win. It happens. But I'm going to call it out when it comes to my team because of how loyal I am. I love the Houston Rockets. We have had a very, very, very outstanding, as much as I said in the last episode, outstanding rebuild to where we are now. when we were the second seed in the West. We were looking like one of the most dominant defenses in the league. But we're letting the team's injuries get to us. Like, it shows how bad we need Fred VanVleet on the floor with us. It really shows. And like, seeing Fred gone makes me appreciate him more. Because at one point, I'm gonna be honest, like, if they're gonna make a trade, for example, what we're about to get into, the trade deadline, the talk about Kevin Durant being on the move. If we make a trade for the Suns to get KD, throw Fred VanVleet in there. I could care less. That's how I felt. I'm genuinely telling you, like, that's how I felt. I didn't care. I didn't care at all. As much as I appreciate Fred VanVleet and what he's done for this team last year and this year, we need that offensive star power. And if KD's that guy, send Fred out of here. But now that it actually didn't happen, I'm so happy they didn't make that move. It would have been nice. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to have KD on the team. Give us that offensive power that we need. Probably we wouldn't have been on this 6-game losing streak. It probably would have been a 4. But please, Fred, come back soon. We need you healthy. Jabari, please get well soon. We need you healthy. For the rest of the team, don't let this beat you up, please. A 6-game losing streak, I know is difficult to bear, but please don't let this defeat, tear down your confidence. I know it's hard to watch sometimes. It's hard to be in the game. It's hard to wake up every day and be like, man, we just lost last game. I got to give it my all the next game. And then you lose again. Well, something needs to be fixed. I don't know if it's an Ime situation where, Ime is just a little bit too hard on them and they're kind of just like over it. I don't know. But whatever it is, please relax, tranquilo, and just lock in. This game against Dallas, it was a good game. It was. I can't lie. It was a good game. Again, it sucks to see your favorite team lose. But we fought. We were down by 20 multiple times. But then we came back, and then it was like a 4-point game or something like that. And then it got sloppy again. Because we score, they score. And that's how it went. And we just could not get stops towards the end of the game. And that's part of the disappointment. That fourth quarter is looking rough. Every game, the fourth quarter is where we just give up. We fight. We fight that second quarter. We fight that third quarter. Fourth quarter, gassed. Don't even care anymore. I got nothing left in me. I'm just going to jack shots. Relax. Get yourself together, Houston. We were ranked like 25th easiest schedule left. Or 25th hardest schedule left. Please, let's lock back in. Tomorrow we play the Raptors. Let's try and get that dub, please. At least fight. I mean, the Raptors, surprisingly enough, the Raptors always sneak a win somehow, some way. They fight. But let's get our head out the gutters, please, because we can't drop down these standings. We cannot end the season off as a play-in team, dare I say. We were the second seed. We were ranked top 5 in the league at one point. And now we're looking soft. As Ime said in one of his press conferences, we're looking soft. But that's all I got for the Houston Rockets, man. A lot of my rants were to myself after every game. But I just wanted to share some as of right now. But enough about my favorite team, man. Let's get into this NBA trade deadline information. Again, just going over every trade And when I mean every, I mean starting from December 15th. But we'll go through it quick. Don't want to hold you too long. Again, it's already 25 minutes in. Again, episode 3, it will be more broken down, more talked about when I have my special guest with me. But I just want to go over every trade right now. Starting from December 15th. So Pacers get Bryant from Heat. We've seen it so far. Okay, cool. Don't care. Warriors get Schroeder from Nets. In hindsight, this is a horrible trade, but D'Anthony Melton is injured. Get some second round picks. Okay, cool. Dennis Schroeder played like trash after getting traded from the Nets. He did not look like the Schroeder on the Nets when he got to the Warriors. All right, moving on. Lakers receive Dorian Finney-Smith, Shake Milton. Nets get D'Lo, Maxwell Lewis, 3 future seconds. Dorian Finney-Smith is what the Lakers needed. What they need rather than needed, because he's been doing solid for them as of right now. Solid. His role is definitely going to be bumped up more with Luka there because they're very tight. D'Lo back to the Nets. I mean, they got off a bad contract. D'Lo wasn't really doing anything to help them win games, but now he's doing stuff to help the Nets win games when they should be tanking. What does it say? Moving on. Suns acquire Nick Richards, give up Josh Okogie. Suns needed a big that wasn't Yusuf Nurkic because he is playing like trash. And Nick Richards is a good center. I'm surprised the Charlotte Hornets really gave him up in the first place to begin with. But hey, he's doing solid on the Suns. They went the youth route. So in their potential couple years, Katie's gone. Maybe Booker says he's ready to go. You got some youth on the team. So be it. Josh Okogie on the Hornets. Yeah, whatever. Pick swaps, Jazz and Suns. Okay, cool. Which I want to touch on this a little bit. This was a good move for the Suns. And here's why. Yes, you're giving up your 2031 unprotected first round pick with this Suns old team. But you're making a move to where you can kind of get something in the draft for the next 2025, 2027, 2029. You don't have much for the future assets because the Houston Rockets have that. But making this trade, I feel like it was a smart trade. It helps them out a little bit. Maybe you can get somebody in the late 20s. It's possible. We've seen it happen. You might get somebody in the second round. Heard of Jokic? Heard of Draymond? Man, that was, excuse me. Had some steak for lunch. Forgive me. Clippers trade Tucker to the Jazz. Am I getting... okay. I was about to say, I thought it happened after. But this is just getting rid of some salary. PJ Tucker is sitting at home getting paid millions of dollars to do nothing. So a good trade, I guess. And Patty Mills gets to help out the Clippers. I feel like he's a good backup point guard. Moving on. Something we've talked about in episode 1. The biggest trade, one of the biggest trades in NBA history. Luka, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick. Then the Jazz just helping to release some cap to get under the apron. Jalen Hood-Schifino, who then got waived, if you didn't know. Anthony Davis, Max Christie. When Anthony Davis was healthy for the game against the Rockets before he went out with looks like a groin injury, he was killing us. Like, dogging us. And not only that, Max Christie was killing us too. He finished the game with like 21 or 23 points. He was smacking those threes. He was looking consistent as ever, playing some good defense. As I actually see the trade in fruition, I don't even know how to pronounce the word, to be honest with you, but I feel like I used it right. They look good. The Mavs look good when healthy, though, because AD had just got back from an abdominal issue, injury, and this was his first game back today. It was February 8th, first game back today, and now he's back out for injury. That's the only downside of Anthony Davis. When he's healthy, like I said, he was killing us, but then he got injured. And Max Christie, man, he's looking like a great pickup. And I'll explain more as we move on to the trades because I have something to talk about. But then again, Lakers, you got Luka, man. What more can you ask? We already talked about it in episode 1. Moving on. The trade that I spoke of in episode 1, but I said that they would be giving up Stefan Castle. Boy, was I wrong. Spurs get De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. Kings get Zach LaVine, City Sissoko. 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks. Just to inform you, these first-round picks that the Kings are getting aren't even really first-round picks, man. They're nothing, really. And Bulls get Zach LaVine, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and a 2025 first-round pick via Spurs. This pick is the Bulls, so they get their 2025 first-round pick. Spurs, you did it. You got De'Aaron Fox, and you did not have to give up Stefan Castle. Man, is that a good feeling? Is that a great feeling? Now, I mean, let's look at the rankings. Standings. There we go. Yes, you are the 12th seed in the West. 1-1 since you got De'Aaron Fox. But I feel like they can make a push to make that play in. I really do. And now, with that trade happening, again, let's go back to it real quick. The Kings get Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. As much of a talent you are, I'm sorry you had to go to the Kings. They don't really need your type of talent right now. They need something else. And I'm not saying he's not talented. I mean, every team should want a Zach LaVine. But as far as what they already have, they don't necessarily need you. They need a different type of talent. I would have loved Zach LaVine somewhere else, like the Pistons or the Warriors. But they got another offensive star power. Good for them. They were the 10th seed. Yeah, they were the 10th seed. I feel like the Spurs are going to overthrow them. It's sad to say. But the Bulls here, they got fleeced. Oh my guys, they got fleeced. Did you know that with the DeMar DeRozan trade and the Zach LaVine trade, they didn't get a first round pick? Nothing besides their pick back. So they really didn't get anything. That's sad. They got fleeced. Sorry, Bulls fans. Sorry, Kenny. KOT 4Q. I'm sorry, bro. It sucks, but it is what it is. And then Trey Jones, I believe he got waived too. Moving forward, again, going to be talked a lot more third episode with special guest. Hornets just trade some second round picks. All right, cool, whatever. Mavs land Caleb Martin. And this is where I wanted to bring in Max Christie again. Max Christie is the new Quentin Grimes. He's the new Quentin Grimes, and I like it. He's younger, and I'm not saying Quentin Grimes is a bad player. Quentin Grimes is nice. I really do like Quentin Grimes' play, and I feel like he can help out the Sixers, even though they're not really doing nothing this season. Sad to say, but I really feel like next season, he can help them out a lot. Caleb Martin to the Mavs, get a vet, some experience, get some defense help. Cool trade. These traded to OKC. Whatever. The only reason anybody would consider this trade is because we know the Thunder love those picks. Got so many of them. You should have moved them. Should have got Cam Johnson with those those draft picks. But hey, who am I to say anything, right? Moving forward. Kings acquire Valanciunas from the Wizards. A very surprising trade, especially given that the Lakers needed a center. I felt like Jonas Valanciunas would have been a perfect candidate for them, even though he's not more the defensive anchor and lob threat that Luka properly desires of his playing style. You know, you're trying to accommodate for Luka, of course, but Jonas Valanciunas gives you a big body. He is a rebound chaser, and that would have been a nice pickup for the Lakers. But hey, he's on the Kings. He's got a connection with Domantas Sabonis. You know, they played in Olympics together. So I like the trade a lot. I think it's a nice trade. And then City gets sent to the Wizards. Okay, cool. Whatever. I don't even want to talk about this trade because it made no sense. We released JD Springer. But moving forward. Wizards land Reggie Jackson in trade for Jared Butler. Jared Butler is a youthful point guard. I think he's on that 2-way contract. He had some nice games with the Wizards. I had went to the Rockets and Wizards game, and he was hooping. He only dropped like 9 or 11 points, but it looked good. Like he looked seasoned, if that makes sense. He looked like he's been in the league for a minute, and he's unfortunately a backup point guard, not getting any PT, coming off of some pretty bottom tier teams. But I hope they don't waive him. I'm saying this now. They probably did eventually. I don't know, but I like Jared Butler. Reggie Jackson, what is he going to do for the Wizards? But they got a first-round pick. I don't know if it's unprotected or like a protected first, though. I don't remember seeing it when I saw it initially happen outside of the, NBA trade deadline report. But overall, you got a first round pick out of it. Wizards can be happy. Wizards are doing an outstanding job on this rebuild. I'm telling you, man. I really am. They're doing really, really good. So let's continue then. Another trade means nothing to the Rockets. Cody Zeller in a second for draft rights to Alpha Kaba. I don't even know who that dude is. What do we need Cody Zeller for? Nothing. We're helping all these other teams with the second apron, and it's starting to get annoying. But oh well. Cody Zeller's a monster, though. You should go look his highlights up. It's actually pretty crazy. Pacers get they deal Wiseman to the Raptors. When healthy, Wiseman is a solid backup center. I guess it helps out the Raptors a little bit. I mean, they have Chris Boucher, Jakob Proto. Yeah, I mean, it's a whatever trade. You get a pick for the Pacers, get off some cash. Take him separate. Wow, I can't even speak. Separate. Wow, I can't even say second. Second apron. This is really a deadline. Just trying to get under that second apron, really. Pistons get KJ Martin, 2 second rounds picks. Sixers again under the second apron. I love KJ Martin, man. I love when we drafted him to the Houston Rockets, man. I miss him so much. I wish he was still on our team. He really brought that firepower to us when we were in our rebuild, man. I love KJ Martin's game, high flyer, bro. It's just sad to see him get tossed around like this. But I hope he finds a home in Detroit. If he doesn't, if he gets waived, Houston, pick him up, bring him back. Why not? Suns deal Nurkic to the Hornets. They got Nick Richards. And they're like, you know what, Hornets, you can have Houston Nurkic. And they give up a first round pick, which I didn't really agree with. But you have to when you're giving up Houston Nurkic. Houston Nurkic sucks. But that's that 2026 pick they got from the trade to the Jazz. Earlier we saw, again, like I said, they're where is that? Where is it at? Didn't we? Yeah, here we go. Right here. Was it? I'm tripping. I thought it was 2026, but that's a 2025 pick from the Jazz. But anyway, they had to give him a first round pick. It sucks, but Yusuf Nurkic is not helping that team out at all. He's playing trash. This is not the Yusuf Nurkic we know from Portland days. You wish you could do better. Hopefully he does a little bit of leadership to the horrible Hornets. Sad to say. But Suns get Cody Martin. He can help them out. Like, again, just being a versatile wing defender. Him and his brother are really good at, being in trade talks because everybody wants that reliable role player. And I mean, it's really a whatever trade. Nothing to help them push to a championship. That's of course. Um, and then as I talk about KJ Martin, I totally forgot he got swapped to the Jazz after getting sent to the Pistons. But I want to talk very very briefly about Dennis Schroeder. He talked about the NBA trade deadline being modern day slavery, and then he got booted to 4 teams in 3 days. That's so sad. He went from the Warriors to because see they're not showing all the pick. I mean all the trades right now. He went from the Warriors to to the Heat, then to the Jazz, then to the Pistons. That sucks. That sucks. But I do like the Lindy Waters pickup for the Detroit. I feel like he is a phenomenal player. He's a good shooter, and that's what they're surrounding Cade with right now. And I really love that for them. And I think Dennis Schroeder is going to have a better third team start than what he did with the Warriors, man. Again, even if you get what he did for the Warriors, that's better. That's better backup point guard play compared to what they have now. And nice pickup for Pistons. Piston fans, you should be happy how your team is heading right now. I feel like the Pistons and the Rockets go like neck and neck when you talk about just their overall growth of his team. Like we both started at the bottom of rebuild mode, slowly stacking at the same rate. Even though last season Detroit was horrible, but Houston Rockets fans, I feel like we don't hate Detroit. At the same time, I feel like if you're a Houston Rockets fan, you want Detroit to do well too, because we both struggle at the same time. We know what it's like. But then again, when it comes to Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green beef, we're here for that too. Um, Continue to move on. PJ Tucker again. He got moved from Clips to Jazz, then Raptors. No, Clips, Heat, Jazz, Raptors, or something like that. Or Clips, Jazz. Yeah, Clip, Jazz, Heat, Raptors. Everybody's getting tossed around, man. It's bad. It's bad. But I feel like this is a good pickup for the Heat. Davion Mitchell, backup point guard, could potentially start at times. With Tyler Hero in the backcourt. He's a pretty good, perimeter defender. I feel like they needed that next to Tyler Hero. Great pickup. PJ Tucker. What do you do on the Jazz? I mean, on the Raptors. They got to pick out of it. So, hey, whatever. Bucks get Porter Jr. from Clippers. 101 trade. I'm happy, and this is a sidebar from the trade deadline. As, again, Rockets fan, when we had KPJ, he was a phenomenal player. He dropped a 60 and 10 game, I believe it was. If I remember correctly, or 50 and 11, something like that. A historic game for his age at the time, 22. I'm always going to be a fan of him, regardless of what he did off the court. You're your own. You're a grown man. You take responsibility. He did, and he got shipped overseas, played for Greece, and now he's back in the league. I'm happy for him. I really am. And I'm happy that he got to play with my favorite player of all time, James Harden. Him on the Bucks helps them out. When they throw him in the game, he really could, relieve some pressure off Dame at times. And this is just me talking as a fan of him. He's probably not going to do as much. They probably won't give him as much minutes, but he has been playing some pretty good basketball on the Clippers. And Clippers fans, you have to appreciate what he's done on the bench. He's had some really, really good games. Again, he's going to play sloppy at times. Once you're out the league for a minute, you got to get back and acclimated with the systems. But everybody's a streaky scorer when you're a score first guard. But I really appreciated his time with the Clippers. Hope he has a nice ending as this season goes forth. With the Bucks, they are a competing team. If he can get, some playoff experience, that would be really good for him as a young player. No hate towards Kevin Porter Jr., random sidebar. Marjon Beauchamp, they went for the youthful side. He's had some good games. Don't really see him doing anything for the Clippers, to be honest, though. But hey, Bogey got sent to the Clippers for Terrence Mann and Bones Highland and 3 second-round picks. I believe Bones Highland got waived. Hawks, Bogdan wasn't really doing much for your team. He's having a pretty rough shooting year. We know him to be a nice two guard, nice scorer at times. And a lot of people forget that Bogdan is like 30, 31 years old. He was an old rookie when he got drafted. I think he got pulled in at like 23, 24. But hopefully he gets to flip this with the Clippers. But yeah, not much to say about Terrence Mann. Horrible contract. Hopefully he turns it around, helping out Trae Young. Man, so sorry if you heard that. Bucks trade for Kuzma. As a Wizards fan, again, you have to appreciate what you guys are doing as far as a rebuilding team. Getting Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, who was a first-round pick. I think he was picked 23, 24 this past draft class. And you get a 28 first-round pick swap. Hey, take in the vet leadership. You need it with how youthful your team is. If you're going to keep, which they are, you're keeping Chris Middleton in his contract. You're not trading him. It's kind of obvious now. 2 days late after the trade deadline. You're keeping him, obviously, but keep him, man. Let him to be that vet that the team needs. He's had championship experience. The young guys can learn a lot from him, and I really appreciate him going to the Wizards. AJ Johnson too. He's in a good situation now. Like you're on a team that's not fighting for anything besides trying to get a the first overall pick. Give him some PT. AJ Johnson has some nice highlights. I think him and Jalen Green are like cousins or something like that, or they're just like real close. But take advantage of it, man. Youthful action, youthful team. Give him some PT. Let him enjoy his remainder of the season on a losing team, right? Kyle Kuzma to the Bucks, though. I don't know how I feel about it. Chris Middleton was a staple to the Bucks nation. Should get a statue. Man, that's probably extreme, but you hate to see him go as a Bucks fan. But Kyle Kuzma go on there. You get some youth. Very, very, very streaky scorer. He's made a lot of dumb plays as a Washington native watching games because, those are the only games you can really watch unless you have NBA League Pass. Hopefully he turns it around for them because at one point he was a solid third option, right? When he played for the Lakers, he got a ring with them, turned into a number one option, played like trash. Let's be honest, play trash. But hopefully he can turn around with the Bucks. Whether they start him or he becomes a sixth man. Nice trade on their end. Get some picks. Jericho Sims, lob threat, whatever. Knicks get DeLon Wright. I think he got shipped somewhere else, if I'm not mistaken. Spurs get Patrick Baldwin. Again, high school mixtape. Patrick Baldwin was elite, but he's not conveying in the NBA. This Lakers trade, I have mixed feelings about it. For one, again, round of applause for Rob Pelinka. You got a youthful center fitting Luka's timeline. I think Mark Williams is like 23 years old. Lob threat, what Luka wanted, right? I just don't like the fact that they gave up Don Connett. I really feel like he could have been a nice scoring option off the bench. Again, one of the rookies, I think one of the oldest rookies in this past draft class at 23. He was looking really, really good, man. And at one point, it was between him and Jared McCain for like Rookie of the Year. And this was like early on in the season, but he was having a good season, and I really appreciate his minutes. And it's sad to see him go in his rookie season, but hopefully he can be that sidekick to LaMelo, man. Even though I feel like LaMelo's going to be leaving next year, but you get a nice, solid center. I'm not going to say he's a star because he has games where he looks like a star, but then he also has games where he's on the bench because he's injured. I really thought they were going to get Robert Williams, though, but Mark Williams is a really good pickup for the Lakers, and I'm happy they got him. Cavs trade. I really, really love this trade for the Cavs. Getting DeAndre Hunter, 3-and-D forward that could if you're in a game 7 with the Celtics, guard up on, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, put some pressure on them. Again, these are some elite scorers. They got a ring for a reason, for for goodness sake. But a very, very good pickup for the Cavs, man. The Cavs starting 5 looks very, very scary. Again, talk about it some more in the third episode. Hawks, injuries just hurt you guys. And as of right now, I don't know what direction you guys are going as a team. I thought you guys were going to get into the Brandon Ingram sweepstakes, but I feel like he's going to be coming up soon to talk about it. But if you don't know, he's on the Raptors. It's kind of a whatever trade. Georges Niang, I like Georges Niang. He's a nice 3-point shooter. I don't know how he's going to contribute to this team, but it's whatever, right? This big old trade right here. Jimbo Butler, who was getting on my nerves at one point, got what he asked for. Get me out. He's on the Warriors. That is so fire. Think about it. I know Jimmy is older. He has no long tenure, right, left. I mean, I think he's like 35, 36 years old. But if you really think about it, the Golden State Warriors, they brought Curry some help. And that's what he asked for, right? I need some help. He can't do his own. Curry's been having some low games as of late, man. And it sucks to see as if you're a Warriors fan. But you bring in Jimmy Butler. And again, like I talked about in last episode, when Jimmy Butler is motivated, you are getting superstar. You are getting hustle. And that's what you hope to get when he starts to play for the Warriors. But here's my favorite part of this trade. The Heat. Receiving Andrew Wiggins. Man, oh man, do I love this trade for them. Again, Andrew Wiggins is under 30 years old. Bam's under 30. Tyler Herro's under 30. This was a perfect trade for them. And then they got a first-round pick out of it, too. The perfect wing to that lineup for the Heat. Man, I'm like dying over here. Excuse me. Perfect trade, though. Perfect trade. And I love it so much, man. We already talked about these other pieces that got moved around. Next up, Raptors. Like I said, Brandon Ingram. I really was hoping he went to the Atlanta Hawks, but interesting for Toronto. You get this 6'7" wing, when healthy again, all-star. But man, do they have a lot of wings on that Raptor squad. Giving up Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown doesn't hurt them that much, but Bruce Brown is definitely a sought-after role player. He got a championship with the Nuggets. Kelly Olynyk. Hey, this is like the first stretch big Zion gets to play with. And so I like the trade for both ends. Again, Bruce Brown is a sought-after role player. Maybe he can help them out, even though they're looking like one of the worst teams in the league right now. If I'm not mistaken, they are, 12-39, the worst record in the Western Conference. Hopefully, you can get a top 10 pick, as if they had their pick. I don't even remember. But, yeah, I mean, a good trade both ways. Again, interesting for the Raptors, but I would love to see how it fits that large wing lineup. You have Quickly, RJ, Brandon, Scotty, and then Jacopoto. I feel like it's an interesting team. Will it win a ring in the next 3 years? Who knows? And then the last trade of the deadline, Marcus Smart, Alex Len. Alex Len got waived. Kobe Jones, I think he got waived. I cannot confirm. But a 2025 first-round pick. Again, if you are a Wizards fan, this is a phenomenal trade deadline for you as a rebuilding team. You gave up Marvin Bagley and Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis, if you're a Wizards fan again, nobody likes Johnny Davis, man. He sucks. And then the Grizzlies giving up Jake LaRavia to the Kings. Again, the Kings had a pretty good trade deadline, even though you didn't maximize every part of the De'Aaron Fox deal, again, with the first-round picks. I feel like you still have a solid team. Again, you're still trying to compete, and you don't want to go back to that Kings lineup where they did not make a playoff in 17 seasons, right? They're still trying to remain competitive, and I like the moves they did. Seeing Malik Monk at the starting point guard is going to be weird, though. But that's the end for the trade deadline. One of the rumors was KD potentially going to link back up with Steph Curry prior to the Jimmy Butler trade. And KD came out and said, yeah, I'm just not feeling it. I don't, it's not the right time. And then he got reports that he might go to the Houston Rockets. Again, would have loved it, but didn't go through. So you win some, you lose some. Again, probably the greatest trade deadline ever. Definitely in my lifetime. How about yours? But those are all the trades made for the trade deadline. Just take a quick look at the standings to see how pitiful my Houston Rockets are doing right now. Hopefully they can bounce back. A lot of movement has been made. When everybody gets healthy after all these trades and they actually play, you're going to see a lot of shifts in these records. I can tell you that. But episode 3, I'm going to get more in depth with my partner in crime, talking about, well, first, grading every team and what they've done for the trade deadline. Was not supposed to tell you that. I told you I'd keep it a secret, but I gave you a sneak peek of what's going to be talked about. So be there for episode 3. How about that? But this is going to be a wrap for the NBA portion of the discussion. This episode wanted to switch into the progressing your 20s segment. Keeping it brief again, almost at an hour. But I wanted to talk about something I had a conversation with my good friend yesterday. And it just made me think after this conversation. I didn't bring it up in the conversation I was having, but I was thinking about it. In your 20s, of course, you see a lot, you know a lot, you learn a lot. But when it comes to making career decisions or business decisions or any type of decision that your other 20-year-olds are making, you want to avoid, and I cannot stress it enough, avoid comparing. Avoid comparing because it minimizes your growth. Because if you're looking at somebody else and you see that they're doing great for themselves, you wish you could be doing this, you start to develop the maybe I'm just not good enough feeling. And maybe some of you can agree with me when I say that. And it gets hard to see at times. It's one of the worst feelings you can have progressing in your 20s, man, especially early on, seeing how some of your friends have made more money, took more initiative right out of high school. Like, it can be hard at times, but do your best not to compare. Your route in life, the walkway you take, maybe it takes a little bit longer to get where you want to be. At the end of the day, we all just want to be satisfied, right? But comparing it with others, you're like belittling the progress you've made. And everybody makes progress at different rates, different paces. And you want to just cherish that. Maybe it takes you, we'll say like a month span, right? Maybe it takes you 2 weeks to get where you want to be at. Again, this is probably like the worst example to give, right? This is probably the worst example. In my head, it makes sense, right? I'm gonna say it, but it takes so and so 2 days to get to where they need to be at. Again, horrible example, but by comparing, that 2 weeks might turn into a month. You don't want it to be a month. The plan was 2 weeks, but if you see somebody else do it in 2 days, you don't want it to be a month for you. If it makes sense, let me know in the comments. But avoid comparing. Go at your own pace. Never give up. like we talked about first episode. Go at your own pace and see the blessings you receive when you're avoiding comparing. Um, because you don't want to take your life for granted. The the opportunities you get each and every day come at the right time or they don't. And I know that's kind of like, whoa, that's a wild take. It's true. Sometimes you get the right opportunity at the right time and it's just what you needed. But then sometimes it's like, man, this opportunity came up. I'm not ready for it yet. Let me focus on this person. How did they address it? Oh, they went straight for it and I'm not ready? Well, what do I need to do to get ready? I need to force it. I need to jump into action so fast. No, if you're not ready, it's okay not to be ready. Just because so and so was able to do it at that time, good for them. But again, the right time will come for you. I might just be talking, I might just be straight yapping right now. But at the end of the day, do not compare. And I'm sorry if it just made an echo, I just hit the mic. But do not compare. Stay on your course, stay on your track. Whatever it is you're doing great. Keep it up. Self-confidence, self-motivation is what you need. If you have the right people in your corner, they'll let you know you're doing good. And at the end of the day, the ones that you see that are doing good too, just appreciate the fact that they're doing good. Don't try to compare. Don't say, man, if I would have done this, I'd be in the same predicament. No, the path you're in is the path you're in. You have to become appreciative of that path. However long it takes you to grow wherever you need to be, just be grateful for it. Find satisfaction in it. Maybe I just rambled. Maybe I just started yapping. If it makes sense, again, let me know in the comments. In my mind, it made sense. Comparing can definitely lead to discouraging feeling. But that's a wrap for episode 2, everybody. Again, I appreciate you tuned in. Hey, I find a way to yap. And if you enjoyed this episode, leave it a like, leave a comment, share, please. I want to reach a more broader audience, if at all possible. With your help, we can do that. I'm Mateo. This is Tantrum, and I am signing out. Peace.